lost in the walls? You look like you've been eating pretty good. Your brother's eating too. He's eating too. I'm so happy and relieved.
Hey guys, Hello Bella here, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about my feral kitties. These kitties were actually found separately, but they are part of the same litter. This is Waffle and this is Tidbit. So Waffle actually came to me 1 week ago today, and he had fallen out of a ceiling. So he had a rough start. He's about 5 weeks old and he was really having a tough time of it out there in the wild. An HVAC company actually found him, and then 4 days later they found the sibling sister. So the animal shelter called me and they said, we know that you have this kitten, would you be willing to take the other kitten? And I was like, of course, I don't want them to be separated if they don't have to be. So I got Tidbit 3 days ago. So she's doing really well now. She's actually eating better than her brother, but I think her brother's actually learning to eat from her. This is our little setup that we do every morning. I've just got the KMR out, and I'm gonna hold each one of them and give them about 3 of these in a syringe, and you can see he's ready for it. So he took 2 syringes pretty easily. She was by herself in the wild for a little bit longer, so she seems a little bit more comfortable just drinking the KMR out of the bowl, so I'm gonna let her do that. And when I first started trying to feed this fella about a week ago, he would not like to eat anything unless I had it like right up to his mouth, but just in a week's time he's learned to kind of eat off of a spoon and eat out of a bowl. So I was just so worried about him because I thought, man, he is not gaining weight, he's not doing well, but it's really a good, you know, difference that a week can make with such a tiny little kitten. I'm very happy she intuitively knew to use that litter box. That's a new litter box with new litter, so she ate and just went right in here and did her business. So really good progress for them, and he's actually eating the food. So all in all, I think we're having a pretty good first week. Now when I first got Tidbit, he was very hissy.
Hey, sweet boy. Oh, you're not sweet boy. You got scared.
He was not wanting to come out of his little box, and I just kept it covered for him so that he could stay there and feel safe. It makes sense considering he was living in the wall that he did not want to come out of that tiny box. Now his sister was a little bit more outgoing. She definitely was not super scared of me. She was able to be picked up without hissing, and she's definitely, she's the one with the pink on her collar, and then the other one does not have a collar because I took it off so I could make him a little bit more comfortable because he kept getting his paw stuck in the collar that comes from the animal shelter. So I am fostering through the local animal shelter, and basically they have a pretty good setup where you can keep kittens for as long as you want. You can keep them for 2 weeks, for 2 months. They're honestly just happy to get them out of the shelter. They provide food, litter, and all of the medical expenses for the kittens. Really what you have in it is time, and it is a significant time increase from my last foster kittens. The last ones I had were about 8 or 9 weeks, and I actually wound up keeping them for a month. Where these kittens, they're really not eating well on their own when I first got them, and they're still, you know, trying to catch up in terms of their development, but worrying about keeping something alive is a little bit more stressful. So this is my first time experiencing that as a foster. I don't know that I fully realized what I was getting myself into because I just did not know how small they were. I was very surprised that the animal shelter was like, here, keep this thing alive, and I was like, okay, I guess. So that's kind of how we landed. Honestly, when I went to the shelter, I literally went in there to pick up my crate from the last time I was fostering, and I saw all the cute kittens, and I was like, I can foster for 2 weeks. I'm about to go out of town, but if you guys have any short-term placements, I can definitely do that. And they brought out Waffle, and Waffle was so pitiful looking. His eye was all messed up because he had fallen out of the ceiling, and he just looks so sad, but he looks better now. His eye's looking a lot better. He doesn't like looking directly at the light, but he looks a lot better now, and he seems to be feeling much better as well. He loves playing with his sister, so they're so cute. I've got him on a towel right now because they accidentally clawed my face earlier. She was just trying to grab onto something, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta give her something besides my face to grab onto. So that's why I've got them on the towel. Plus they're kind of stinky. That's another thing about like really young kittens, is they don't clean themselves as well, and they're still getting used to the litter box. They are using their litter box, and I can show you guys the setup that I have for that as well. For a litter box, I just made this box and then covered it with plastic, and I'm going to fill it with litter. I was previously using a little bit smaller of a litter box because I only had one kitten, but we recently found the other kitten in the wall. The local business that brought them to the shelter said that they think the mom is still in there and they have not been able to trap her. So the first thing I did was reset their litter box. We are using this pretty litter because that is what the shelter gave me. The animal shelter gets a lot of stuff donated to them, so I like to put it in plastic, and then I also put a roll or a little bit of paper towels around it because typically they'll kick when they get out. So this just allows me to scoop up the litter pretty easily. Now I did have a litter mat, but I just found that it's got really dirty, especially with kittens, so I feel like the paper towel method is just a little bit faster for cleanup. So for their bed, I am just using this little tote organizer that I had. I have not been using it and it was in my closet, so I've got that set up. I put a towel underneath it so that they won't be on the cold floor, and then I've got a used Pendleton skirt that is 100% wool that all of my cats seem to absolutely love, and it's really easy to throw it in the wash. So that's the biggest thing, is just trying to keep everything clean, and you know, this allows me to reset the area pretty quickly. With this being smaller and there only being 2 kittens, they're able to keep this insulated pretty well. I can tell they're really warm when I pick them up, so this just works for us. And I'm gonna reset the last thing being their food. She's looking pretty good, and she just came in yesterday from being basically by herself in the wall of a local business. So, and then this fella's been with me for about a week, so he's a little bit more outgoing, but I'm sure they're ready to eat by now. So they are just living in a shower, which, you know, you would think, well, I don't have enough room to foster, I don't have enough time to foster or money to foster, but I mean, these guys are still doing better than what they would be doing at the animal shelter, and they're living in my bathroom shower. So I just want you to keep that in mind if you are thinking about fostering and you don't think that you have it in you, or you don't think you have the capabilities. You definitely can do a lot with a little. I'm able to fit their litter box, their home, their food, a bunch of toys, and honestly, you can build it up higher. You can like stack things if you want to give them more room to play around. And my older kittens, I would allow them to be in the whole bathroom, but since these guys are so small, I really don't see the point of letting them have free reign of the bathroom, because they've been making a huge mess like every single day that I have to clean up twice a day. So I really just want to keep it contained while I have them for the next week. I will miss them a lot, but I think that honestly, if they can just reach the age of 12 weeks, they can get adopted pretty quickly because they're super cute and they're already very socialized just from 1 week. They're very, very sweet kittens. It was hard because I felt like it was all on me to get them socialized, so I spent a lot of time with Waffle. That's what I've been calling this fella. I spent a lot of time with him one-on-one, and when he first heard my voice, he was terrified. I don't think he had really been around humans. It was really like every sound that he heard in the house was a shock to him, and now he's just kind of used to it. So I'm hoping that, you know, he'll kind of get used to it, and Miss Tidbit will get used to it. She's the one in the back here. But they're already sort of acting like they're, you know, they prefer being around me, because whenever I go into the bathroom, I always say, good morning, hello, and they go, meow. It's so cute. So in terms of their diet, like I said, Waffle did not want to eat when he first came in, so I was pretty much force feeding him KMR through a syringe. If you don't know KMR, it's just kitten meal replacement, and you can mix it as a powder or you can get some that's already mixed up. So the one that was as a powder, he did not want for whatever reason, and the animal shelter gave me one that was already pre-mixed, and I'll show you guys a picture of it here because he lapped that stuff up. Like, he was eating that like nothing else before. So I was happy that we figured that out. I was so worried about him because I was continuing to weigh him daily and he just was not gaining weight properly. So I was like, oh my gosh, if he doesn't gain weight, he's going to die. So it was pretty stressful, just kind of thinking like, I don't want to be responsible for anything happening to this fella, but at the same time, I was like, look, I've just got to do my best with the resources that they gave me, which really wasn't a lot. I watched a lot of videos from the kitten lady, but after giving him the KMR, the shelter suggested that I mix wet cat food, heat it up in their microwave, and then mix some KMR with that and some water. So that's what their diet has been for the last 3 or 4 days, and I will say that they're doing pretty well with that. I don't have to force feed them with a spoon anymore. Initially, I was actually feeding them I was feeding him baby food that was chicken flavored, because that was one of the only things that he would eat, was that chicken flavored baby food. So if you are in a desperate crunch and your kitten will not eat, that is something that you could try. It was something that was like a last ditch effort for us. My hands are all scratched up from trying to mess with them for the last couple of days. They do scratch pretty bad. So yeah, I didn't think kittens could do so much damage, but they actually have done, I think, more damage than the older cats that I have fostered. So like I said, my first set of foster kittens was older, and I wound up keeping them for a month, and then they got a placement at Petco. They actually wound up getting adopted together, which I was so happy about, because I really didn't want them to be separated. I mean, I felt like they would do okay, but it was just heartwarming to see them go to the same home. Congratulations on the adoption. So I'm so happy with that, and I hope that this will happen for these guys as well, because the saddest thing to me is going to the shelter and seeing like one kitten by itself, and you find the story that like every other kitten in the litter got adopted except for that one kitten, and you're like, oh my gosh, that is so sad. Why didn't they just take it as well? So I don't think I've ever adopted an animal one at a time. I've always adopted things in pairs. So as far as my experience goes fostering, my first fostering was in November, and I said I was going to take a break from it after that because I was like, wow, this is a lot of work. Well, it probably was like a month later that I wound up getting these guys. So if you start fostering, just beware that you may not be able to stop once you start, because it is so addicting trying to get these little kittens, get them ready for a new home. And while I will be sad when they leave, I know that I can continue to help more kittens if I just kind of continue the pattern that I'm on, because I can't keep every single one of these, and to be honest with you, I really wouldn't want to. Having a cat full-time is a lot, and we already have 3 dogs, so one of the main concerns was that I don't want my dogs to feel like they've been replaced, or that you know, I don't have time for them. And this is a bigger commitment than, you know, what a lot of people realize, trying to keep these guys fed and happy and entertained. But I'm really happy that I decided to do it, because it just, I don't know, it's just kind of fun knowing that like you're going to play a small part in their lives, and they're going to go on and kind of go to someone else's house and become their pet, and hopefully live a long and happy life thanks to just a couple weeks of being in a foster home. Meow. Meow. So every day I try to spend 30 minutes to an hour with them outside of their cage to get them around people and get them socialized. And as you can see, they're curious, they're walking around and stuff. And if I put them down, they will definitely walk around more, but I'm gonna leave them alone for now and probably put them back in their cage, because I've got a lot to do today. But I wanna make sure that every morning I start out by saying hello to them and good morning and refreshing their food and water. And then every evening I clean up their cage thoroughly, make sure they're sanitary, wipe them off with baby wipes. If they need a bath, I'll give them a light bath in the sink. But overall, that's kind of the responsibilities of getting these guys ready to go to a forever home. Like I said, they were definitely more on the feral side when they came in. They were very hissy and very just kind of like distrusting of humans, but I think they've gotten a lot better. They're super sweet looking kittens. This one, she's Tidbit, and she's so small. And then he is Waffle, and he's also so small, but Waffle's definitely more bonded to me because he's been here for a little bit longer. But I think overall they're both going to wind up in really good homes. We just got to give them a chance and kind of see if they can make it on their own when they go back to the shelter. I am sad to have to bring them back to the shelter, but I am going out of town, so I'm not sure that I will go back and get them, because they're so sweet and I'm so attached that I don't want to get too attached, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking the best thing will be to let these guys go back to the shelter, see if they can find a placement for them, or see if somebody wants to foster to adopt. You can foster at any age, you just can't adopt them until they're 12 weeks old. So that's kind of what we're working with. We're just kind of getting them ready to go to their new home. But I'm so thankful for you guys for watching the video. I have to go and corral Tidbit. She's over there trying to drink my coffee. Get out of there, girl. You cannot have my coffee. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.